Hi, it's Jess here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to bring you something very different, something that I've not done on camera before. Now, I think it was last year that I made this glue book, that's what I'm calling it. And I did it out of a Stampin' Up! Mini catalogue. And it was great fun to do. And I do have a video on how I made this, and each of the pages is a folded back catalogue page, and then I've covered each side in vintage book page and music paper. So the pages are really quite nice and robust, and then I covered it in a used card, and this is wallpaper. So I haven't covered the front because I didn't know at the time what I was going to do with it. And so what I've decided is that I would turn it into like a glue book, a collage book. And so I thought it'd be a good way of maybe doing some quick journaling and have a month per double spread. So what I'm doing in today's video, I've left spaces. I'm going to start in January, and so I've done April. So I am going to show you my process of creating my memories for April. So hope you enjoy it. I'm doing a voiceover. I've speeded it up. I mean, it only took me, well, apart from cutting out photos and finding the photos and printing them off, I think it's only about 50 minutes of time actually spent sort of gluing it in, and probably only 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so do it. So, you know, just over an hour to do that. So I figured I could actually manage that one for each month of the year. And then I might actually start using these journals that I've made if I get into the habit of doing it on a monthly basis. I maybe then move to fortnightly and then weekly. We'll see. But I like this because I haven't actually done any writing on it. I've just got little you know, titles, and the pictures sort of spoke for themselves. Okay. So I'm just finding a place in this book. I've got this calendar. I've just ripped off April, a bit late, I know. And so I'm going to use that as a point on the collage. I've got these Easter cards that I made. I made about 30 of them. This one was rejected because it got muck on the back. And here's some swaps that I got at a recent Pootler retreat that I attended in April. And so some of these have got really nice sort of sentiments on them, so I thought they would look nice. And there's a random die cut on my desk. And here's some die cuts that I made on a make and take, which I didn't make, I just taped. And I thought I could use that flower pot and get those flowers. So I'm going to just peel off that topper. So these are retired Stampin' Up! Stamps that I'd used to make this, and some probably not Stampin' Up! Punches actually. So I thought that would be really good because Easter was a large part of April. I went away for 10 days on my annual pilgrimage, which this year was not virtual, thank goodness. We've had 2 years of virtual, and this year we were finally able to go away. And so I make these Easter cards for everywhere that helps us along the way, so everywhere that gives us refreshments in churches, in church halls, and so this was a spare one. That little green die cut I felt looked a little bit like palms, so we do start the day before, walking the day before Palm Sunday, and putting my water bottle there to hold the book down. It doesn't last. There we go. And yeah, so I thought that we always get then given blessed palms from different churches. We do end up with quite a lot, but that's quite good because they do tend to drop out. We kind of stick them in our rucksacks, and well, one even stuck them in his hair. He did have quite a collection by the end of the week. So yes, that was to remind me of that. So I'm just pulling off some of these lovely little sayings from Makes. I do hope that Pat and Sim and Tina, who's watching this, don't think, oh, you're ruining my lovely swap I made you. I'm not ruining it. I can't keep them forever, and they're going in my memory book, so I will never forget them. There's a lovely scissor charm on that one, which I like, which I might add to my scissors. So I've got to get these the dimensionals off. Some of these. So there, I'm looking. What do I want? Oh yes, Sim put a lovely wax seal. We talked at the retreat in September, I think, about wax seals, and I said I'd added them to my Christmas list, and I did get them. So she's put a lovely wax seal on the back there that matches that new lovely Orchid Oasis colour. And it's a nice bit of the DSP, and it is my favourite colour. She did it in different colours, but I picked that one because it's the closest to purple. So I'm just arranging those in a way that I find quite pleasing. So I'm going to ink round some edges on things. I'm not going to do much inking on this spread. I think the sort of vintage paper and music paper in the background is vintage enough, and I quite like the look of like all this sort of clean white card on top of it. So yeah, liking that, and then I'm going to sort of gather those flowers, and there's another sort of saying on there as well that I think I'll use. I quite like the idea of putting those flowers in the plant pot, but I do like having those sentiments as well, because some of them are really good. Paper hug, you're cool. I don't know what the German sentiment is. I ought to Google it, or just ask Tina. And I think the other one says you are amazing. I can't actually read it at this point, because when you do a voiceover, it's quite a small screen that you're looking at. So there we go, just having another little fiddle and thinking about where I might put these, and so you're kind of like auditioning where they might go. So now really what I need is some photos. So I'm just going to print some photos off to add, because I think that would be needed for my memory of what happened in April. So here we go, as if by magic. She said it and there it was. I have got some photos. I've just done these on copy of paper, so it's not going to add much bulk to it. So there is some from Easter, and then also some from the Pootler retreat. And there's also some memories there of my mum, because April does bring her anniversary, and 10 years this year since we lost her. So yeah, so I cut those out, and I fussy cut round all the little sayings. So I've got like Happy Easter, I've got hashtag Pootlers Rock, I've got selfie, I've got Angel there because I did pose in front of Angel Wings. That was in Wyndham Abbey. There's a whole row of COVID tests there, because we kept having to test to make sure we did it before we arrived. We did it halfway through the week, and then we tested again at the weekend before we met up with all the other groups. Picture of me there with Ed Sheeran. We do stay overnight in Framlingham, so we had a little look round the castle on the hill, drank in the pub, the castle on the hill. Very nice evening there. And the next day, went into one of the charity shops, and there was this big cardboard cutout of Ed. So I was like, yeah, I'll have a little picture there. So there's me. I'm just going round some of the important dates. So a little heart there around my mum's anniversary. And then I'm going round what was the dates I was away at Easter. I'm going to put a little red cross there, because that's what we wear. And then I'm just marking off there in Gorgeous Grape the Pootler weekend, because those are the main things that happened there in April. So now I've done that, it's a matter of placing them on where I want them. So I did take a photograph there of where I had them in place. I find that really helpful when doing that. Quite liked what I'd done, So it it enables me to maybe replicate it. As I'm sort of doing it, I do sort of change it slightly, but that's me just sort of laying it on there so that it is the same as the picture, and then starting to stick it down. Trouble with your phone is it keeps going off. So they're just sort of sticking them roughly where I want them. I mean, an awful lot went on in April, so I did sort of wonder if that calendar page was maybe a little bit too big for it. But I quite liked the fact that I was drawing around the actual dates of it. I like the little titles that I typed out as well. Those are the red crosses that we wore. I made those for everybody. Everybody wears one, and then we give one away to all the stops that helped us along the way. And there's a little 50 charm on because the group that I walked with has been going for 50 years. So we've got the COVID test, we've got us at the beach because we do walk along the beach at Felixstowe. That cross, the Amazing Grace, that was in one of the churches and just thought it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And there's the picture of all of us together on the last day outside the last church that we stop at before we walk to Walsingham. And then at lunchtime, another group were having lunch in the village hall, but we had our lunch in, and they were just arriving as we were leaving. And there was my friend Loz, who I walked with in the 90s, and it was such a surprise. Just wasn't expecting to see her. And there was my friend Betty as well, who walked with me then, and we just all just embraced and had a little bit of a cry. It was a lovely moment, and one of my friends captured it on a picture, which was really nice. So there I am, ignoring the way I decided that I was going to have it, and I've changed my mind completely. And despite sticking down the angel, I've moved it. I'm using Collaging glue, so you've got a little bit more time with that. If I'd have done it with Tombow, it would have been stuck, and that would have been it. So I quite like having a little bit of time to change my mind, as is my way. So just sticking them in, and I just think that's a lovely little tribute to Easter. And so I've sort of like condensed 10 days there into one little page. I mean, there was so much more to the week than that, but I do think that encapsulates some of the best bits, and there are some more lovely bits as well, which I'll probably do. Might do a journal in itself, because I've been doing that pilgrimage for 40 years, so it does deserve its own little journal, I think. And so then on the other page, that's where we want to do. We've got Pootlas and my mum. April can't pass without thinking of my mum, so I'm just putting April 2022 memories. I know I've got the calendar, but I'll put that in anyway. And I'll probably do something like that for every page. So that my friend, that was from Ashley from Apple Lover 53. That was on her lovely swap. Then we've got So Cool. That was from Pat. And Pat James, Pat's quite pleased she is. And I'm always saying it's cool, so I quite like that. We've got Paper Hug there from Sim. We've got a lovely German sentiment there from Tina Creative Box. That's the team. That's the lovely wax seal, and then that's the sentiment from the top of the swap from Sam. So I'm just going to put those flower pot there as well. So then I've got Memories of Mum. So that was a lovely quote I found, and then that's a lovely picture of us when we were kids. And then I'm thinking it needs a bit more. So on that little swap there from Pat, there's a bit of that pansy paper, and actually, as that paper's now retired, and it does make me think of Ewoks crossed with Care Bears. They are a bit crazy Ewoky, but I thought it's going to make it to the page. And I was sort of thinking that I might add that scissor charm, and I keep thinking about it, so I'm sticking it in, and I'm thinking about it. And although I keep refreshing that picture, it now looks nothing like the way I'd planned it. So so yeah, but that's the joy of creating. You sort of change your mind as you go along. And I had a little bit of space there, so I added that little Ewok-y page, and toying with the idea of putting eyes on it. My friend Janice from Jazzle Dazzle, she sent me a card because I lost my voice, and she used the pansies and she actually put eyes on them, and it proper made me laugh. So yeah, that's lovely. I can see it now. It's on my mantelpiece as I'm recording this. So yeah, those flowers, I think that's quite cool. There we go. See, I say cool in that plant pot. I do love the plant pot. Weird, isn't it? I like the wellies. I like the plant pot. So that one, remember you're wonderful, I think that says. I think that works really well as well, of going there just above my mum's memories, because she was wonderful. And so just sticking them in. And again, I've got space again. So thinking that space needs something. So as I'm sticking it in, I'm thinking about what I could fill that space in. I could have added another photo of my mum, but I didn't. So I reached for these hearts. So these are from the Sweet Talk DSP. It's got them little love hearts on, and they've got things in. So that big purple one says hug me, and that would be lovely if I could have a hug from my mum. And then I'm just popping some other hearts, and there's some little ones. So I think that's quite appropriate, adding a few hearts round my mum. There's my mum with my siblings. My dad would have took the photo, and that was my mum all over. She was just there for us kids. And yeah, and I don't remember that day, I don't think at all. I'm quite young. I'm the smallest one in the picture, but I've always loved that photo. I have loads of lovely photos to remind me all around the house. Yeah, so that is it. Just finishing off there, and that's my page done. And it didn't take me very long, so I think I'd be inclined. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that. I think it would look nice, but then I think actually I want it on my scissors. So yeah, not doing that. So there it is, all finished. So pop over to my blog, nigezza.co.uk. I'll put some close-ups there, and I'll link down below to some of the products that we used as well in the the swaps that I got. Okay, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe.